The year was 2015, the date October 29th, and OnePlus announced the iPhone SE of Android. Well, not really, because the iPhone SE hadn't even existed at that point. It came out in 2016. Perhaps Apple was following the footsteps of OnePlus, but we got this bad boy, the OnePlus X. In my opinion, there hasn't been another phone that has touched what this offered for its time for the price. This was $250. A OnePlus phone, $250. They were known for disrupting the mobile space, but at $250, this disrupted an entire industry. There was nothing that you could get that would be closer to a flagship phone for the money besides this guy right here. We had a 5-inch AMOLED display, 1080p resolution, a Snapdragon 801 processor, 3 gigabytes of RAM, micro SD card expansion, the works, a 25 milliamp hour battery. I mean, this thing packed a ton of heat for only $250. That's, I think, almost less than a third of the price of the Galaxy S6 that came out the same year. So as you can see, the pricing here was pretty competitive. You may be wondering, what's the point of talking about the OnePlus X in 2020? Well, where is 2020's or even 2019's iPhone SE for Android? It doesn't exist, okay? We had the Galaxy S10 Lite, and that thing was $650 when it was announced. You can now get it for around $500, I believe, somewhere in that range, and it's still not worth the buy, in my opinion, especially when you can get a Pixel 3a for $399, which is on par with the new iPhone SE. So if you're an Android fan, you're probably going with a Pixel 3a, but even at that, the OnePlus X was a great phone. I mean, look at the design here. Very, very sleek. I mean, it's metal and glass, and it had a nice 13 megapixel camera on the back. We didn't have wireless charging or NFC here. You know, that's just the name of the game. We did have an 8 megapixel shooter around the front side. For what this offered, again, at the time in 2015, this was kind of mind-blowing, and we haven't seen anything that has disrupted the industry in Android since this guy came around. At least in my opinion, I don't think we have. There's nothing that really touches the price point that this launched at. Sure, smartphones are more expensive now. For a flagship phone, you're paying $1,000 plus for that. So I guess a Pixel 3a at $399 comes close to this OnePlus X territory, but even at the time when this launched, $250 was jaw-dropping. Now, obviously, we have news coming out pretty recently that there could be a OnePlus Z on the horizon, and I mean, we have leaked images and leaked specifications talking about like a MediaTek processor, things like that. I think that this would be great, but will it still touch that price to performance ratio that the OnePlus X did? I mean, that's the real question here. I would love to see something in the Android space that touches around this price point. Like I said, the Pixel 3a is probably your best bet in terms of that, or even a used Pixel 2. But as far as new phones at retail pricing at launch, well, I mean, this is kind of the winner that we've seen in the last 5 years anyway, because at the time, you would not even dream of getting a phone that packed as much as this did for its price point. And to be honest, this is still one of my favorite Android launches of all time because of what it did to the mid-range device market and even the flagship device market, because in a lot of ways at the time, this was a flagship killer even then. I mean, like I said, this is as close as you could get to a flagship for the money. You're paying 1/3 of the price to get probably 85, maybe even 90, if you want to argue it, percent of the way there to an actual flagship of its time. And I mean, now, you know, we just don't have that these days. This was a great phone. The OnePlus X, pretty gnarly, and this is the iPhone SE of Android. Where is the iPhone SE 2 of Android? I'd like to see that in this day and age, I think it would be a smart move on somebody. You know, the biggest problem here with doing something like this is the prices of the internal components. For example, the Snapdragon processor, the newest iterations are very, very expensive. So it's hard to put, like, for example, this has Apple's latest chip inside of it, the A13 Bionic. That's in their top end $1,000+ flagship phone, but they manufacture that chip. They make that chip. Android companies rely on Qualcomm for the most part for their flagship processors, and those are not cheap. Because Qualcomm kind of owns the market on Android flagship processors, they can charge what they want. I mean, because they're the supplier, you know, that it's the supply versus demand thing. Everybody wants it, they're gonna charge a little more. And it's harder to do that nowadays than it was back in 2015 with this guy. Because if you want to put the latest Qualcomm processor in a smartphone, that's gonna raise your price of the phone substantially. And well, I think that it's gonna be hard to see something that was this caliber of awesome in 2015 in 2020 because of a lot of the reasons that I've mentioned here. I don't think that we will see another phone of this caliber for its time frame at this price, $250 for its time frame nowadays in 2020. There's just too many different variables involved here, but I would love to. Let's see Samsung, maybe OnePlus again. OnePlus could always strike with a very affordable budget phone. I don't care if you knock off wireless charging. I don't care if you knock off NFC. There are some things that I can live without personally, and I would love to see it done again in 2020. This phone was $250, and it, like I said, it got 85% of the way there to most flagships that were out at a fraction of the price. Let's see Android do another OnePlus X or the iPhone SE of Android. I would love to see that. I want to know your thoughts too in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and be sure to leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when new videos like this drop in the near future. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. This is Dom, and I will catch you in the next video.